Hey guys, a very good morning and welcome back to another daily market outlook. So a bit of an earlier one than usual because I'm traveling to London today, so I have to catch a flight, so therefore a little bit earlier than normal. So let's dive in. So starting off with the dollar index, the dollar index has been following the overall bullish order flow in towards the highs. So every single time, sell before the buy, tap back in, sell before the buy, tap back in. And except pretty much for this time over here where we had another sell before the buy, but we did not yet tap in, but we have been moving in towards the upside, pretty much created a new sell before the buy, which we did tap in during the Asian session. So what I'm now waiting for is, again, just like yesterday, a close above this high. Once we get that close above the high, 4-hour structure will then be bullish. And of course, that will confirm our bias of the dollar index pushing up higher and creating a new higher high, and overall on the daily time frame, then price being ready to push up in line with the overall structure on the dollar index back up in towards kind of like that 107.5 region. So that's what I'm looking for on the dollar index. Very beautiful to see. So let's just trade up higher with the overall order flow for now, until of course we break order flow and, for example, just see a fake out on the high, then reverse and start breaking the lows again. Then we could start seeing a push in towards the downside once again. But as long as this low over here pretty much is respected, further upside is expected. So then your dollar, absolute beauty. So pretty much exactly as we expected. Just going in towards the daily real quick. So overall, from a daily perspective, of course, we timed pretty much that reversal in towards the downside pretty well, because overall we saw that 618 fib pullback, pushing towards premium, pushing towards supply, and then of course seeing kind of this 1, 2, 3 pattern in towards the highs. Now we've had that daily fractal structure change. So after that daily fractal structure change, and of course also on the 4-hour, a break of structure over here, we expect a pullback in towards the highs before shorting once again in towards the downside. So when can we expect a pullback? We can expect a pullback once we tap in towards higher time frame areas of demand. High time frame area of demand is here. We have this sell before the buy, which is on the daily a very clear and obvious area of demand, from where I definitely do expect a pullback to occur from. Of course, now that we've pretty much reached our daily target, we can refine the zone in towards an area of 4-hour demand. Then based on 4-hour demand, of course, you would say pretty much that inside here all the way still, there's still a pretty long way to go before we kind of reach 4-hour demand, but it doesn't need to get tapped. We could also just start pulling back based on the daily area of demand. So how do we know that the daily is then going to pull back? Because obviously we have that area of demand, but then what we're going to be looking for is a break of the overall 4-hour order flow. So at the moment, this over here is your 4-hour buy before the sell, and pretty much also kind of like the order flow, because every single time we kind of get that buy before the sell, tap back in, buy before the sell, tap back in, buy before the sell, and then obviously over here, yesterday with exact precision, tap in towards supply, and then of course the sell didn't tap in towards this refined candle over here, but still we moved in towards the downside and followed the overall order flow. So with that said, now we have a new buy before the sell, which is this box over here, and pretty much as long as we respect that order flow, then I still expect for the downside. If of course today or during NFP we start breaking the high over here and we start breaking order flow, then we could start pulling back up higher, and then of course obviously I will be looking for a long to trade the pullback in towards premium pricing. So yeah, that's pretty much your dollar. It's getting a lot riskier now, starting to sell, of course, as we've now seen, let's say, pretty big impulse in towards the downside after a BOS. So after BOS, we expect a pullback, and the longer it takes before that real pullback comes, the less high probability shorts become. Additionally, we're inside higher time frame demand, so therefore I'm not really looking aggressively for shorts anymore. I'll just be waiting for my setup to come, which is either going to be a long from this refined 4-hour POI, point of interest, or from a pullback, and then look for the shorts up higher in towards the downside once again. So those are pretty much the two opportunities that I'm looking for. Now Aussie dollar, also very beautiful, of course, further pushing towards the downside. Overall, from a daily perspective, where are we on the chart? Daily fractal structure break. So I was looking for a pullback in towards that daily order block, in towards that daily buy before the sell, which caused the break of that fractal structure. but sadly we did not tap in, so no short-term opportunity for myself. Still an opportunity to look for, well, I'm looking to see can we still get those shorts in, but again, not really. What I'm now just going to be looking for is a break pretty much of this liquidity low over here and a tap in towards this sell before the buy over here, before we potentially see some form of a reaction, but not very, I'm not really looking forward to trading Aussie dollar as of now. Overall, of course, the order flow and the overall structure is bearish. But again, just focus on these areas of supply when trading AU. For example, this is a nice order block with a range of liquidity right below it. Then going in towards the 4 hour once again, you'll see that pretty much that area of supply aligns with this buy before the sell over here. Or what I'll be looking for is just to trade, of course, with a 4 hour fractal structure. So trade from this area of 4 hour supply. So this buy before the sell. Trade from there, because at the moment that is also where your fractal high lies. Your fractal high lies over here. So as long as that high is respected, you can continuously keep on looking for those shorts in towards the downside, because ultimately, as I mentioned in yesterday's video, we're still targeting this swing low over here. So that is pretty much Aussie dollar. Just still looking for those shorts. A little bit different to euro dollar. And on Aussie dollar, I am still looking to trade this lower until, so we're starting to reach the 50% mark. So sells are getting less of a high probability trade, but of course, if we pull back in towards this area of supply, you're still in premium, so we can still look for those shorts. Now moving on in towards pound dollar, absolute beauty. Again, guys, just missed out on this area of supply, which I was looking to trade from. Which I mentioned in yesterday's video, but of course, after grabbing liquidity, saw kind of like a spike back up. Then if you kind of like refine it into the overall buy before the sell, we tapped in, but I was looking, of course, for this refine zone. But regardless, still following order flow. So at the moment, this is pretty much now your buy before the sell. But I'll just be looking to see how we react on pound dollar from this zone over here. From a daily perspective, we're kind of, we're now inside again a sell for the buy. So we could start seeing a bullish reaction very, very soon. So I'll be keeping my eyes open for that. And I'll be keeping an eye on how the 4 hour reacts to this area of demand, and then potentially reacts to this area of order flow, because I believe that we are still looking for the downside. Unless we can kind of break this overall structure, then you can look for further longs. Until then, just keep on trading with the overall 4 hour order flow. That is my advice. NZDUSD, of course, we saw that for the downside, guys. Took out this liquidity low, so very obvious overall setup. Taking out, first of all, buy side liquidity over here upon the highs. Liquidity above the high, reversing towards the downside. Then, of course, we push all the way back down, taking out liquidity below the low. Obvious area of demand, tap in, reversal. Guys, like, we saw this coming. So absolute beauty. Now what I'm looking at over here is what is the daily going to do. So now we've seen a daily fractal break of structure. How is this daily candle going to close today, guys? Because if this daily candle closes bearish, then I'll be keeping my eye out for this area of supply over here. Then again, on the 4 hour time frame, if we see a close today below this low, that means that you have a 4 hour BOS. So then look for that pullback in towards supply, and then look for that potential further short in towards the downside, because on the daily, you kind of want to trade back down in towards discount pricing. So that's what I'll be doing. If we can kind of see a strong close, then look for this and then look for that. That is what I'll be looking for on NZDUSD. Last of all, gold. So gold, of course, still being suppressed by this overall buy before the sell. Of course, we tapped in towards it on the daily time frame. Very obvious. So this is kind of like supply at the moment. Tapped in, sold off. Moving in towards the 4 hour time frame. Still obvious. We can just see that we're kind of like ranging yesterday. Nothing really interesting. I'm personally staying out. But overall, this is your fractal high over here on this candle. So as long as that high is respected, still for the downside expected. Once you break that high, then you can look for those longs. Otherwise, just keep on looking for that for the downside on gold. Overall, we're just ranging. Nothing really that interesting for myself. Of course, also, if you look kind of at the 15-minute structure, like you can say, of course, okay, 15-minute BOS over here. this is your high and this is your low. So you want to be looking for those shorts in towards the downside. So just keep an eye out for the overall order flow. See when the overall order flow is bearish, but at the moment we're just kind of like stuck inside of this triangle, or whatever you want to call it, just sideways price action. So not really interested in getting involved. Main focus is going to be on those dollar pairs. So yeah, guys, thanks so much for tuning in. A bit of an early one. Hope you guys enjoy it. If you have any questions, make sure to join Discord, and I will speak to you very, very soon. Thanks, guys.